Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes.
Warning: the Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
What's up, everybody? This is your man P Solo in the building. Boys and girls, what's good with you? Sin is getting her mic together real quick, folks. We're about to get started right now, folks. I hope everybody's doing pretty good in the chat.
Tell the truth. You forgot to hook up my mic. You gonna be pointing at me. I was like, you didn't give me the microphone. It's not even set up.
Let me tell y'all something real quick. Yo, we are like 5 seconds before countdown. Sin wants me to go get her some lemon water at the last minute.
Don't try to make the mic should have been ready.
No, I did. We did an edited video. I just put some together. The black man been working at the very last moment.
Don't make them think.
At the very last moment, Sin was saying,
"Oh, excuse me."
He trying to make y'all think.
Excuse me, before you get started, Peace Out.
He think.
I just want to know, can you get me some water with lemon and freshly?
And mind you all, it's freshly squeezed lime.
First of all, he trying.
And so when I sat down, it was already doing the warning, and then she's
like, "Are you done
like,
with your rant?" Because I was actually gonna rant before you cut me off.
Excuse me, the black man is. I'm taking back my time. Yeah, man. All right, early in the morning.
I'm gonna get back on to him later, but we got a lot to talk about right now. Good morning, everyone. What's up? We have Dom's in the building, Village Brother in the building as well. KJ Forever.
Shouts out to everybody, y'all.
We got Dope and Unapologetic in the building as well. Let's see who else. We got Off as well. We have Do, Ghost, and we're gonna get into it. First of all, we want to say make sure you check out Dwan B's Patreon, his Miles Davis series, Dope series. Also, Charles Curtis III. Check him out on Patreon as well. Of course, check out our Patreon as well. We got some more content coming up for y'all, exclusive podcasts and other stuff. Do not worry. The live listening sessions will be back. We know we have a lot of music we have to do on our Patreon. We have Imani we have to do. Kalani people want us to do. We still got to do Wale, even though we did hear the album, fabulous album. We've been pushing for the album. But we will have a listening party as well. So there's a lot of music. And also on Monday, our review on Dime a Dozen's album as well will drop on Monday. So just want to let everybody know all those things are coming. Today we're going to be talking about Reggie Wright. His, when he said it about Dr. Dre years ago, a long time ago, he said if he goes down, he has some things to say about Dr. Dre. We also will continue to talk about what went on with Tupac and Keefe D. And of course, Joe Budden has talked about what's the dirt theory about Roc Nation and the law firm, about Reed, and then also the Roc Nation subpoenas, and then also on top of that, what was going on with Larry Jackson and Gamma as well. So that will be talked about. Is there anything I'm missing, Black Man?
Let's see here. Let me see what else you got in the title.
Oh, establishment versus new media. It seems like that's been a thing, even though
it's been a thing.
I know.
Yeah, it's been a thing. It ain't nothing new. And whoever's crying about anything, they're gonna run to the other. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and because there's a narratives got to get pushed out there. Corporations, thousands of dollars have to get made, not millions for a lot of the people. So yes, absolutely, it's still going to be that type of thing, and it's the dawn of man. Little guys versus the big guys, the big crowd versus the struggling and corporations. Y'all know what time it is. Yeah, and also real quick, we're going to talk about that Keefe D. Not Keefe D. Keefe D's been talking enough, but Reggie Wright has basically said, for the most part, he's like, look, I had nothing to do with it. He don't want all this attention on him.
Are you going to pull up the article talking about Reggie Wright as well? Which is crazy because this is something that, we did predict that it was going to get heated
it's just getting started.
For heated with Reggie Wright like how many years was that? 2018 or
Yeah.
19?
Yeah, no, I'd say it was about 18.
Yeah,
18 and 19.
About 2018,
Yeah,
2019.
2018, 19.
Because we was paying attention to Gangsters Chronicles before it dismantled and dismantled. And Reggie, he was talking a lot about, his feelings towards Dr. Dre and other stuff, and also when
and Snoop Dogg.
and when Keefe D started to get hot on Art of Dialogue, then he started to have an argument with Reggie Wright on Bomb First about, if I go down for Tupac, I'm gonna drag Reggie Wright. Then Reggie Wright said, if I get dragged, I'm gonna drag Dr. Dre. And it's just like,
yeah, niggas talking about and niggas threatening each other.
And that's what I call a chain reaction.
Yeah. So, all right. So right now, it is heating up, and the conversation is being had. And look, I know people laugh about this, but a lot of this stuff that y'all see floating around today, even a lot of these niggas OGs, OGs tie back to 95 and 96 and 97. And look, we told you guys, like, the whole Death Row, all of that shit, Bad Boy, that still has a permeating effect on culture today. Of course, you've seen Systems, not only Interscope, you've seen Warner Brothers, you've seen Sony, you've seen so many different people Tupacify someone, Notoriousify somebody, right? If I'm going to play some Phil Valentine up in here, right? So you're seeing that over and over and over again, and then you have a generation of children that were born around that time that they move up into what has become the drill era, and all that was about death. So as you see right now, Keefe D is on trial. It's interesting between Keefe D's situation and, of course, Diddy's situation. I'm going to be honest with you. You're not getting much overt coverage of it on the hip hop side of the game. You got a
Which
few.
is fine. I mean, because other people going to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Hell.
No, I'm speaking to it. I'm just talking about something else.
Okay.
You got the troll?
No, I'm
See,
not.
you
I'm
got the
literally
troll.
having an engaging conversation with you. Prince is always worried that I'm going to be trolling.
First of all, the black man ain't never worried.
You ain't never scared?
I ain't never scared.
So I found out of the
club.
Niggas,
Because he
we
think I'm a punk. I told that nigga, I ain't never scared.
Man, he should have did a little bit more. Also, shout out to something that also Dwan B said that was funny. He made me laugh because Boy Wonder was like, yo, what's going on? Why are people so obsessed with the personal lives of rappers? And Dwan B said because the niggas in rap aren't real artists. He said that because most of them aren't, there's
a lot of trash niggas in rap.
Well, he said even the
there's
ones,
a lot of ones
he also said even the ones who are good, they're mostly focused on lyricism and rapping. And then he also was saying it's about beats. So he said because of that, people aren't most of the time playing live instrumentation, or they're not a part of a band, or they're not focusing on the musicality. Like, remember 4 years ago when we used to talk about, some people got mad when I said, look, if you're doing lyricism but the production is bad, then you're just a spoken word poet. Go outside and then spit that poetry. But for you to be an actual artist, you're going to have to make music. Then that makes the distinction between somebody who's just a poet, or doing they out there doing that poetry slam jam, which is great, versus somebody who is actually producing and creating music that is enjoyable to the ear beyond beautiful words.
Boy Wonder.
I saw Boy Wonder's tweet. I thought it was a bit short-sighted in a sense. I think
I got his point.
I think Boy Wonder himself, just to finish this part, I think he's largely irritated because he has been the center of a lot of conversation. You and I, we made a joke about that the other day. We said Boy Wonder tied up in a lot of stuff. His name keep popping up everywhere.
His head do keep popping up all the time.
Yeah, but listen, even if you go back to first of all, the media ain't the same, number one. I actually, everybody's stuff is being talked about today. Politicians, it's not even so much that there's nothing special about rap, about the level of conversation or gossip any more than what we've seen in celebrity television and things of
But
that
it's
nature.
happening mostly with pop stars and hip hop. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen that often.
Because if
in
you would have had that
contemporary-
conversation to like pop, like you said.
Yeah, it's not happening in contemporary times with other genres though. It's hip hop, and then the only other genre I would say you're right about that is pop. But outside of pop music, which is popular music, anything
It's
that's
popular country.
watered down
Yeah.
and extremely mainstream,
Something for the masses.
and anything that's pertaining to hip hop, they both have a lot of people talking about their personal life on the internet, and also I think people find the personal lives of other genres to be boring, even if they have something exciting going on. Like nobody cares about a metalhead in this day and age. To your point,
That metal rusty.
yeah, to the point is hip hop, pop, actors, from time to time a few directors.
Yeah.
That's and politicians, right?
A lot of politicians.
That's what it would be.
A lot of politicians, And, you got to keep it real. People are usually nosy about black people. It's just what it is. White people are nosy about black folks. A lot of folks be really nosy about what black people are doing.
Well, rappers have loose lips the most.
They
do be talking. They be they be telling their whole business and songs and shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, and again, a lot of that stuff had to do with a lot of the industry folks, too. I'm going to be real with y'all. I mean, the podcast, talking about.
TMZ.
Yeah, bro, I was smoking with Von's Killer, and what he told me is that,
so you get those types of conversations. But I saw his tweet. I saw people respond to it, but I kind of didn't really care. I think that's, if he's talking about the level of podcasting that's going on in hip hop, but damn near everywhere, because if you guys go to the entrepreneurial space, how many dejected CEOs, aspiring CEOs, fire CEOs, they all got podcasts. Everybody, it's a talking head nation.
Yeah, but hip hop is now number one though. Like, remember there used to be a time where it was the tabloids.
We mean like consumer culture.
There used to be a time on the tabloids where it used to be exclusively the pop stars, the big time actors and actresses, and the music that they usually would talk about would usually be mostly, let's keep it honest, predominantly white. Then, the Tupac and Biggie thing happened, and that kind of put certain things on the radar to some degree. But in the past 20 years, it's really been now starting to look at with the hip hop scene now, Jane and everybody else, and you bring up a good point, also what I'm bringing up, that I partially think it is people in the industry fault, rappers and industry platforms, because they have talked about their business the most. So if Dame Dash and Jay-Z have an issue, what is Dame Dash going to do? He brings it to the public. If somebody has an issue with Diddy, or Diddy himself bringing an issue, publicly. So most of them, they make a lot of their issues with each other public. And I would say they make their issues even at this point, Prince, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think it's gotten even cattier than the pop people like Madonna, who's shooting back at Lady Gaga publicly? Do you think rappers now have put that space on steroids where their grievances with each other are in the public eye because they put it in the public eye?
I think no, that's a great question. I just really think it's because, the infrastructure is a little weaker now. So, people that usually wouldn't necessarily have the largest name, or they've been blacklisted, they're able to make their careers on YouTube, or they're able to make these careers of that nature. But also they're outside of that's even why people keep being hung up on the big three. Even for who is coming out in, I guess you say, the Gen Z class. I'm not saying they're not artists, but remember when there was this wave of Wale and Kendrick and Cole? It was 13 niggas. As you can see with the budget cuts in the industry, people are choosing to focus on other things. And yeah, newsflash, overall, a lot of people aren't necessarily gravitating towards the best music, and that's not really the best music that's being promoted on top of that. And it's a monetization culture too. So the audience has been monetized to talk, whereas gossip was taking place with the National Enquirer or some of the kookier theories of the Sun, right? Tabloids, that is. But most people as consumers, their gossip culture, because it was always here. The gossip culture has always been here since the days of Kemet. Go look it up. They've been gossiping since then. But the gossip culture, it was just trivial. People partake in it or partook in it. Some people look down on folks that did do it. But when you're talking about this level of monetization with the likes of Google or what we've just seen in social media in general, you can be incentivized to reach a certain monetizing, goal with Spotify. I think that contributes greatly to it across the board. I think if you are coming from a rap perspective, a consumer rap perspective, then of course you're going to feel like, it's done the most in your space. But again, realistically, people are incentivized to quote unquote gossip about anything across the board. I mean, until it's no longer deemed economically viable. So that's the only thing from my perspective. I just think before the audience has always gossiped, but now, people can make a little bit of money to a lot of money in the process. And then of course with rap music, because the antics are so absurd, people getting gunned down on Instagram and then they're tied to certain rappers. Like the antics are absurd in rap.
No, it was like even that dude that threatened me because of the J. Cole review.
Yeah, the antics are so absurd.
Yeah, the antics in hip hop and rap is getting really absurd.
Yeah, that's the real question. Is like, why are the antics so absurd?
I do think that rappers though is reach a critical mass where I think they're starting to be even more visible for their antics than their music.
Oh, that's by far Tekashi.
But
you can go through each list.
But I think I'm split with Boy Wonder because I think Boy Wonder is making a valid point. But I think the point is the answer though is because of the industry though. Same industry.
That's the point that we're talking about here.
The same industry he comes from. So like most of the people who, let's say, will say something negative about Drake, Kendrick, Jay-Z, Nicki, whether it's true or not. We're not talking about if it's true or if it's false. Whether it's true or not, they all come from the people directly from the industry, which is why it's always bizarre to me personally when I see people try to blame new media. Like, for example, Tory Lanez came and he stated his case to some people in new media, right?
Yeah.
The people who are for him and some people who are in the industry. But the people who were in the industry believed Tory first. And then Tory came out and was talking to certain new media platforms. If you look at, like, again, the things that people bring up about Jay-Z personally are things that Ye said about Jay-Z, are things that Nas, when they were beefing, said about Jay-Z, are things that Dame Dash said about Jay-Z. And, Jay-Z himself, when he was on stage, what he said that he was saying about Nicki, what he was saying about, Jaguar Ride and Dame in response. So I do find it very interesting. This is why we said, establishment versus media, new media. It's very ironic how they're trying to make new media the scapegoat. It's kind of like even like what is cool and what is not, like DJ Envy and Charlamagne when they were like making fun of another person from the industry, because Drake is industry just like Charlamagne and Envy. But it was like when Wayno and them were all doing like the cool factor thing, but it was like, DJ Envy just came to the public and he said, he didn't know how to wash his ass until his wife taught him how to clean his ass. So it's really bizarre too, because it seems like these industry people, it's like they're all over the place too, because they'll blame new media, and you have, all these lawsuits and all this pressure, but they won't admit that all of the drama is coming from them and their space, and it's colliding into new media and the independent scene. It's not the other way around.
I think it's an old tale though, Sin, and that's why I always tell people a lot of times, like, there's no reason to sit up here all day and I'm going to argue with somebody that, respectfully that have worked for a record label for 30 years and they've pretty much been out of touch with the streets since God knows when. You know, there's nothing for me to debate or argue with what their perspective is of what I do or Sin does or any what you all like or don't like. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm making that statement because culture's always started from the ground up. If it starts from the top down, all right, on some Ronald Reagan tricklenomics fix type shit, it's a plant. It's fake. It's fugazi. And so it's kind of always been that way. Even going back to the days of MySpace, there were artists that got popping off of MySpace and people laughed at them. And then next thing you know, record labels really started to take it very serious. And then they're quote unquote breaking their artists through MySpace or Facebook or the earlier parts of Twitter. So you guys got to understand, too, you got to understand the Kansas City shuffle. A lot of times people will tell you what you got on and what you do that's trash, is ugly, is boring, and looks stupid. And then you take it off, you step out of it, and then they got some variant of it on the next day.
A bootleg version.
A bootleg version.
A counterfeit China version, right?
Yeah, so, you know, the whole new media talk is it just simply is competition. That's it. It's just simply competition. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, maybe people that come from the Minute Maid corporation, maybe they send some fixer in and the guy that's across the street selling lemonades, and they say, hey, you got to move your stuff. Hey, man, no, this is a free enterprise. No, you got to move. So they break his stuff down. That's what they do. So when you hear that, you know, that whole conversation about new media and all this other stuff, when most of these talking points, they come from industry people. A lot of people in the industry, they record each other in conversations. So a lot of times it's just simply competition talk, competitive talk.
But
so it's more like, look at me.
Yeah, and in the industry part of it is very weird because they're trying to say, oh, this side is more mature versus this side. Where's the maturity on any of your side? Like now they're trying to build up the Breakfast Club as this sanctimonious, really source of the culture that can be trusted and all this other stuff. But you had one guy who was throwing his ashy butt cheeks that he molded into everybody's face, which, you know, could have been seen as sexual harassment. And then you had another one who brought a big black dildo into the studio and then said he didn't know how to wash his ass until his wife taught him. But then those same people would be like, we're cool, and let me pick on another industry person, you know, like what we saw what Charlemagne did with Chrisette Michelle or whatever. So it's like, it to me, from an outsider looking in, it looked like mental illness. Like, it's like people like, I'm cool, you're not, you're a dork, but y'all,
it's high school shit.
But y'all all look like dweebs.
Yeah,
it's
high school shit.
So what we talking about? Like,
it's high school shit.
It's
like when you, I don't know, if y'all run into some of the millionaire goons, right? Because they got them, and they be like, yeah, nigga, I'm ready to die. I like, but your children got a trust account, so like, I mean, you know. What do you mean by that? Well, I'm just letting you know I get to cracking. And then when people get it cracking, they like, security. Like, all of that is dork energy. But look, it is what it is. And rap music is a lot more overtly absurd. There's absurd things that go on in most of these big industries anyway, you know, and it's okay to say, yo, I'm going to move this way, you know, at the same time. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. And then, you know, that'll be rebranding too on top of that. Because you and I, we talked about the rebranding for some of these establishments. And that's perfectly fine too. Doesn't mean it's always going to work. You get what I'm saying? But as far as like, I guess the Breakfast Club being the center point of culture, if that was the case, you would have checked Joe Biden. I mean, you got to understand how people think. They enjoy
he's probably
strength.
Gonna wait till now he got bone cancer. He'll probably do it now.
It don't mean anything. You get what I'm saying? Like,
delayed reaction.
Yeah, one thing about when you talk about quote unquote the culture, you got to capture the moment. You got to capture the moment. You know, if you didn't do it, the moment has passed. Now, what you can do is talk about, you know, spend the next 10 years talking about, well, you know, I almost could have had Joe Biden, but they kept talking in my ear, the producer, and all this other type of stuff.
And then the other thing that's confusing is the morality that's coming from the industry. You industry people have lied on each other, have set each other up, have put out stories on each other, but then you cry about new media and their flaws. And then, you know, even somebody brought it up, a great point with DJ Envy, even when he allegedly allegedly was scamming people out of house and home with real estate. So it's really weird even to see like the energy that is out here. It's like what we said a long time ago. Last year we was talking about how if everybody was on our Patreon, we talked about different execs that were a part of the record labels and stuff, and how you have certain celebrities who are the face of certain labels and certain companies warring with each other, and how it's splitting the audience because, you know, also media platforms and all that being a part of it. And how they're coming from a place of arrogance, though. Like, you cannot try to tell other people what to do in new media when y'all are some of the biggest sinners. And even, like, let's keep it a buck. I mean, one of the reasons why, and we're going to get into it eventually with Reggie and the rest of them, but even the Drake versus Diddy, I was about to say Diddy. Prince brought that up on his 11 a.m. that is going to drop. Jay-Z versus Drake is not something that was made up. Like, even when Prince and I brought it up in 2018 and the corporate warfare and, you know, Adidas deal and, you know, Tidal and all of that stuff, and Apple, you know, these are things that you could come to a logical conclusion by reading articles about Tidal versus Spotify versus Apple, iTunes. You know, just about paying attention to things and people's music, and you just come to a logical conclusion that happens to be correct. And then the same industry people will try to gaslight everybody to say this is all fabricated, but it's not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and you bring up brilliant points. Sin knows how I am. I do not care about what the fucking industry niggas do like that when it comes to them trying to implement order. But what Sin is saying is correct. Now, I'll talk about y'all shit niggas. That's what the fuck I will do. You know, but outside of that, as far as rules and regulations, I done been on the phone and niggas started talking crazy about what needs to be done and what you bet not say. Click! All right, nigga, we out of here. So with that being the case, yeah, you know, it is what it is. It's going to be terraforming. And part of the rebranding of some of these fledgling platforms, you know, as far as influence goes, is attacking newbies that are popping up and sprouting up. And that's kind of been that Chronos effect that, you know, you cover on the esoteric too. That's that Chronos effect. That's just a part of human nature in general. And if you want to see the example, or you can look in the direction of a declining empire, you can always see that when the previous generation tries to cap off and clip the new generation. Whether you like it or not, for powerful empires and regimes to exist, the next generation has to supersede you.
No, that's actually another great point. You do have a bunch of people.
They have to supersede you
in their 70s, 60s, and 50s.
70s,
trying to tell like new media and other people like what to do and this and that. Yeah, you had your time. Y'all had your time.
Yeah, and you enjoyed it too. So a lot of them enjoyed it.
Some of them did sex orgies allegedly. You know, some of them felt good about knocking somebody else out or tarnishing somebody else.
Y'all let the new niggas have their orgies.
No.
Okay, I'm not saying for us. I'm saying for the new niggas that are into those things. Okay,
you're not beating the Scorpio charges.
I'm a Scorpio. It is what it is. I'm not Diddy though.
I will vouch for you on that. You're not Diddy.
I'm not Diddy.
But,
all right? But
I mean, that's shit is going.
I'm talking about between light and dark, because there are niggas that then had their whole, you know what, flipped upside down and been in every white executive's face. They come online and try to be Mr. Terrific. Nigga, you on camera. Shut up. So if she want to go shake her ass and he want to go do what he want to do with them people back there, let them. That's their experience in life, whether people like it or not. That is their experience, all right? If you enjoyed yourself growing up, and it don't even just have to be explicitly sex, people have, y'all got to understand, if you go back and you look at like the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and look at the stars from that era, A lot of them people, they were cutting up, enjoying themselves. They wanted to be, I'm a bright, sunshining star. I'm going to make it big in New York, right? They get older. They go through experiences. They have good experiences, great experiences, bad experiences. Then when they see the new little sunflowers popping up, they're like, I want to be a star. They're, shut the fuck up. Shut up. It ain't nothing out there. Move out the way. They need to go do what they need to do.
Well, they're going to say, why should they move out the way?
Well, I mean, you can be moved too. Because no, you're right, Sin. I'm glad you brought that up, love. That is why when younger folk use their muscle, old people that are stuck in their ways, getting moved out the way, they don't need to cry. I don't want to hear, my elder. No, not if you was up there trying to play running back. You know, now if somebody got you, they got the best of you. It is what it is, you know, and that's just the dynamics of it. You know, whether we saw the transition when Jordan was leaving the league and other new upstarts, you know, it wasn't just simply Kobe Bryant. You know, they called him Hair Jordan at the time, but it was Allen Iverson.
He did have a nice fro.
He did. They had Allen Iverson. They had Vince Carter. They had T-Mac. They had Penny Hardaway. A lot of people were saying, yo, who's going to eclipse Michael Jordan? There was nothing wrong about it, you know. Unless somebody was a fan of Michael Jordan, they was upset. How dare you, brother? That ain't how human history works. So, with that being said, what I will say concerning rap, I am seeing particularly with a lot of older guys. A lot of older guys are really having a hard time with the transitioning. You know, I mean, especially if they had brilliant careers. You know, but like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need anybody's permission. If you got the gift, you got the gift.
All right, moving on and transitioning to Reggie, Wright, Dr. Dre, 2PAC'S murder. Where do you want to start off with that?
Well, Reggie Wright recently, he says here, let me pull it up real quick.
You pulling up the article?
Yeah, Reggie, shouts out to Edgy Reggie, right? Reggie Wright says here, because they got him listed as a Tupac witness. All right, let's see here. Hold on, Sam.
And Reggie Wright Jr. I mean, the tea he has been given over the years have been pretty damn good, though. But yeah, I see TMZ here as Tupac Shakur murder witness denies involvement in killing. And remember, Reggie Wright got to do all this work because he was talking. I mean, he was talking a lot. And he wasn't the only one, though. Obviously, Keefe D.
Well, monetization, that's what I was talking about. That's the media.
Yes, and technically, would you consider Keefe D and Reggie Wright Jr. industry or more, maybe more Reggie Wright Jr.? What would you say? Or people who were just adjacent to the industry?
I think I'm going to throw them in there as industry, you know, because of the darker parts of the side of Stranger Things of the industry.
Tupac Shakur murder case witness. I'm innocent. Again, this is from TMZ. And we know, TMZ allegedly work with the feds too. And they have great relationships. But this is how they get.
So does hip hop. I mean, all the shit's feds.
That
like,
is true.
Who gives a,
the federal government, yes.
All the shit fed. But go ahead, say you got it.
With the jury selection underway in Tupac's murder trial, Reggie Wright Jr. is hopeful that the truth will finally come out. So, I mean, is Reggie confident? Look like he's confident here. We got Death Row Records' former head of security to sit down with us, and he's hoping that the prosecution will get some answers. Especially after Keefe D has been pointing the finger at him.
Yes, that's why Reggie being petty. Well, you know, I hope we can find out what happened. All right. So go ahead, continue, Sing. You got the article up.
Keefe D, who's on trial for Tupac's murder, has been tried to pin the rapper's death on Reggie. So he has been, you know, trying. We saw the videos. We saw the videos on Art where Keefe D, he did, and Keefe did it, twice, strongly. One time he went on a major rant saying, and if, he said, Keefe said, I remember this vividly, he said, and if I go down, Reggie gonna go down for Biggie's murder. Yeah,
he said if he goes down for Tupac's murder, then Reggie Wright should be going down for Biggie Small's murder. So, I mean, that's a lot to say. You can't say that was started by fans.
But also, Keefe D is claiming that Reggie was the one who orchestrated the hit in the TMZ article. This is so messy.
I mean, we here now, so 30 years.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Because you and I, some people talk to us and they was like tiptoeing around. I'm like, it's 30 years in. Like, y'all here now, niggas. Like, niggas are dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here now, so it's only so much time that it can be built. But so he said, so Reggie, he put extra slack on it.
Yeah.
And he said that Keefe D arranged the hit.
Yes, he said he's going to help the prosecution.
What? He's gonna help the prosecution.
I'm not going to lie. Reggie Wright Jr. is funny.
Reggie's a funny miscreant nigga to me.
He is very funny.
He's definitely a villain. He's definitely a villain nigga.
And you know what? To be honest, now that I remember, Keefe put out the hit on Pac.
Okay, even if let's say this here let's just talk about like what do you feel? Even if not Reggie Wright, but Keefe D, let's say they go to trial, they find him guilty or whatever. Does that really bring any closure to anything though?
No, because people are going to feel like they're higher ups that still are connected to it who hasn't gotten in trouble. And the only way for it to ripple is dependent on the outcome of this situation. If people do believe what Keefe says, not him being innocent, but that other people were involved, and let's say an investigation is done on Reggie, you don't know. With Reggie, he is a slickster, so he may get out of it. You never know. But if other people start getting dragged into it, then it could eventually lead to higher ups. But if it stops with Keefe, if it stops like dead in his tracks just with him, people on the internet and hip hop media, we're gonna always say, man, we think other people are involved, but it's gonna be, case closed. So it really depends on what happens with this trial.
Well, and if they do the entire process, and what do you think about the idea of the implications of Diddy? Even 50 Cent went as far because 50 is definitely trying to nail Diddy to the cross behind prison, right? Wherever
Yes.
Diddy looked like he about to go, 50 goes in and perform. If Trump was like, you know what, I might let him out, 50 Cent said, I'll throw a show for you for free.
Prince, you and I already know,
Yeah, we already know.
as hip hop new media,
Hip hop historians.
Eminem on Kill Shot dragged Diddy name into the murder
People
of
talk about that
Tupac.
right before it happened.
And if Keefe D was smart, because remember Keefe,
Hey, yeah, get Eminem.
Keefe D got to do a Hail Mary. You old as fuck. You got a bad health. He got to start throwing like some Hail Marys out. So he got to be like, look, there's a song called Kill Shot.
Well, it's two of them.
Where Eminem said that Diddy put out the hit to get Pac killed.
Yeah, he said it on Kill Shot, and then he said it on the Slim Shady LP too, right? And at the time, you and I, we was like, why he keep saying that? Because when Kill Shot first dropped, we was like, well, why did he say it? We're like, we know MGK is tied to Diddy, but
And 50 Cent said it on his mixtape.
we get into other territory.
We broke that down on the Patreon.
We did, yeah.
With that song where 50 Cent was insinuating a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
the same thing.
That nigga know who hit Biggie Smalls.
And then also,
and then talking about hip
hop,
hip hop. Yeah, go look up 50 Cent's Dead Prez legendary duo. But Dead Prez, it's bigger than hip hop, and 50 Cent was spazzing out on it.
Also, Dark Horse said Gene Dill's supposed to take the stand. Oh, this is some spicy shit here.
It is.
Wow.
It is. It's the most notorious, one of the more notorious stories in music. And up until then, we didn't have, two giant stars gunned down like this, too, by the way. All right? I'm just saying, so it definitely, as they said, what did they used to say in the 90s? It was gripping. It stopped the nation. But, yeah, absolutely. Eminem.
What do you think about that, though?
Which one?
What do you think
about Gene taking the stand?
What do you think about Keefe D's shot here? He's not all the way in the dark. He has a little bit. He got a
He
little bit.
he probably got glaucoma,
You
but
got-
he's not all the way in the dark.
You got Eminem Kill Shot, since they
Yeah.
still, for some reason, allowing sometimes rap songs to be in the
For
court.
lyrics, yeah.
You got Eminem Kill Shot. You got Eugene Dill,
Yeah.
who, he's been talking about Diddy for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he also was praising Kill Shot
Yeah.
from Eminem.
Yeah,
So-
and you had to hold a conversation about Vaughn, and people was talking about this $1 million check that was passed through a third man, but it never made it to Keefe D's bank account. All right. Then you had what Kirk Burroughs said, right? I mean, the conversation is out there. So it would just really depend on how would Keefe D's defense moves this.
That's what I said. Do you think that's the question? Also, shout out to Brandy Kane in the building. Make sure you guys support her music.
Kane is in the building.
She does great work.
Shouts out to BK.
I would say, but I'm asking you. With
You interrogating me?
No. With Eugene Dill, with the Kill Shot,
Yeah, Gene Deal. Yeah, go ahead.
with Eminem. And Eminem is connected to Interscope. Do you think that Keefe D has a chance in hell with his attention-seeking ass that put himself in this position? I agree with 39. But do you think he has a chance in hell of trying to get anybody else roped up into this in the situation he's in? Even though there are a bit of loose ends walking around.
It really depends on what the higher ups are saying. Like, do they feel Keefe D is important? I'm being honest with you all. These conversations do get had. Even though many of the individuals tied to this, I mean, these guys are in their 60s now. At the very least, I think Keefe D would be the oldest of the participators in this situation, the participants. But yeah, it really would depend, and it doesn't really have much traction in the hip hop media.
That's a great point, Prince, because tomorrow show we will be reviewing again Kill Shot by Eminem.
Yes.
And him insinuating that Diddy put out the hit on Pac. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So, I know it sounds funny, but yeah, it really would depend on, do they feel that he's as important? Is this going to make any real noise outside of circulating on a few YouTuber channels? I think the Keefe D case is a very big case. Me personally, I think Keefe D is one of the more important figures right now in hip hop. Realistically, streets involved as well with the industry. We're talking about just music, because this is somebody who was there to either participate, witness, or to, trolling ass Reggie Wright's point, orchestrate an event that forever changed hip hop. So I don't think necessarily Keefe D, I don't look at him as washed like, Charleston White or some shit. I actually think there's a lot to be said here. I just think Keefe D is probably, him and his team are going to be looking at what angle can they go with it. Because at the end of the day, like everybody knows, he's the only surviving member of that Cadillac that night.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%, Prince. And 39, that actually is something we touched on a while ago, too. We said that we told our audience, if the RICO charges don't stick, then Diddy is being protected by the higher ups.
Yes.
So we
100%
feel that Diddy is being protected by the higher ups, because if he wasn't, he would have got caught with that RICO.
Yeah, and
I
what?
shouldn't say 100%. No,
Yeah, right.
That's what I suspect.
Yeah, Diddy. Yeah, he got them 3 dots on his wrist. Y'all better be careful with them 3 dot niggas in hip hop. It's only a few black niggas that got them 3 dot tattoos on their wrists. All right.
I got the tapes.
Yeah, I got the tapes. All right. So the other side of it, the reason why you also know that there's still some power concerning Diddy, there's, the coverage early on dropped off immediately. And Sen and you and I, we deal in media, so we witnessed it in real time. Like, the coverage for Diddy dropped off immediately, and it was very interesting to see Diddy, because of some of the things we had already talked about publicly on this channel, Diddy, then Jay-Z. But
it made sense, though, why it dropped off, not only because the higher ups allegedly protecting Diddy still. But I'm gonna be honest with you, people fairly are gonna lose interest because he didn't get the RICO. They were looking, see, with Diddy, they're not looking for smart fries.
No.
Oh, you getting arrested for prostitution? Like nobody really cares.
No.
They wanted the global, international sex trafficking, RICO, what Lil Rod's original lawsuit was. They wanted the big bang.
Come on,
once media saw that it was just prostitution, even if the RICO thing was true, but it wasn't proven in the courtroom. So it fizzled out.
Come on, Sid. Yeah, and two, a lot of niggas want to hear that LeBron James was on the tape.
Too. People also.
That's what niggas want to hear.
I'm glad you brought that up too.
Yeah.
People were also disappointed because none of the tapes came out, with the exception of
you said disappointed.
with the exception of Diddy ass cheeks.
Yeah.
And some random prostitute with a fucked up lip.
Yeah.
And 50 Cent baby mother. So people were really disappointed that they didn't get the celebrity sex tape, so they can
the Library of Alexandria.
So they can make 100 videos on it, because that's good money for people.
It's great money
in traditional media and new media. So they were disappointed in that.
Yeah.
They didn't get the RICO, which would have been still also great. So they were mad. So
the intrigue, they left the intrigue got lost.
So yeah, after that, okay. Oh, so he was paid for sex. All right, they like, all right, we're interest declined.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're moving on.
Yeah, well, you even saw it during the battle with Joey Badass and Ray Vaughn. And what was his name that came out? Absol. Might have mentioned Diddy a little too much. Yeah, right. Shouts out to Victory Status. Should Keefe name drop the execs we don't know?
He just wants to name. He would name. I think Keefe already is for the black ones. He's not going to do the white ones. He's trying to remember. When a nigga is trying to stay alive,
go sacrifice another nigga.
There you go. That's what they always do.
He go, somebody probably said, well, why don't you talk about the white heads? You try to get me killed.
Right. Now, this doesn't mean that all black people in crime are cowards like that. There are a few who have got the white ones caught up, but Keefe D obviously looks like somebody who's just gonna get a.
And some of them white execs are dead.
Yeah,
some of them are dead already.
It seems like he's looking for a black exec or somebody who has more notoriety than him that's black, that was a part of all of this, that he can bring in to try to get out of the tricky situation he's in.
And Diddy's already behind bars.
Yeah,
that's the irony. Diddy, Suge, and Keefe D, they're all behind bars right now.
I got Illuminati.
The only person that's not behind bars is Reggie.
I got Illuminati theory.
All right, come on with the conspiracies. All right.
Diddy was locked up on prostitution, so he wouldn't be out and about during the Keefe D trial. So nobody would be able to ask Diddy any questions.
Wow. Wow.
That's the Illuminati theory.
Wow. It's that deep.
The prostitution, they actually protected Diddy.
Yeah. He probably looking at that shit like, damn.
He said, and niggas can't ask me no questions.
You can't ask me nothing.
He can't ask me no questions.
Now, when the trial clears, they'll be like, oh, by the way, Diddy's released. Yeah, so I think the Keefe D situation is very interesting, but it's just there's so many people that did participate. There's so many dead people tied to this story. I don't think people really understand how many dead people are tied to the saga of Death Row Records and Bad Boy. Like it's literally a lot.
Is it a monkey paw label? I feel like anybody who touched that record label goes to prison or dies or something. I just feel like, I don't know, it feels like a bad omen.
Yeah, and I think anybody that touches, Bad Boy, just their career disappears. The money goes. But they may be able to live, but the money goes. But with Death Row Records, it's like all types of bad juju with that thing, man. That thing ragged, man. Go and get that out of, get that mask out of here.
Do you think it seemed like Reggie may be maturing, even though he said years ago that he would snitch on Dr. Dre about something? It seems like from the TMZ article, he looks confident. I did feel, the reason why I chuckled while reading the article, I just had an energy that just felt like somebody who was being just mischievous and kind of like a trickster. You know,
mean like when Big U was up there talking to Vlad and they were talking about Keefy D and he was like, wow, he told? That's crazy.
Right.
And he's like, come on, man.
For Reggie to be like, when Reggie said, we said Keefy D orchestrated all of it.
These niggas really hate each other.
He said that he the one who came up with all of it. It's like, it's like, come on.
Also, Met 34, and that's funny, so we're going to get back to that. Eric Zip Martin was another key figure in Harlem and with Diddy at the time. He was allegedly the one Diddy gave the money. Yeah, I know about that one, that story. He gave the money to, and I believe he passed away of cancer. That's what I said. A lot of key people in the whole bad boy death row situation, they're just dead.
But that one thing that does work against, though,
Yeah, go ahead.
to some degree, Keefy D, is the fact that he did say, he did on art and other platforms said he did play a part in getting Pac killed, because he said, Diddy, give me the money.
Yeah.
He said, come on, man, give me the money, like, take care of me. He's talking about, he's like, I'm ugly, I'm balding. Like, I was like, wow. And he said, I was like, damn, you said this all on camera.
Well, there's some, man, that's crazy.
That's why 39 made me laugh.
There's some other shit going on.
He said the clout chasing ass got where he
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It is funny with people who clout chase about killing somebody.
Yeah.
Murdering someone, you know, whether they're a hitman or whatever, somebody who didn't do nothing to you. But hitman, whatever the fucking reason is, and they like brag about it in interviews and stuff, and then they get caught. To me, it's funny. It's like I don't feel bad for Keefy D though, because like you literally was clout chasing on platforms and talking about Pac did the Harlem Shake when bullets was piercing through him.
Oh yeah, he was talking about he was spinning in
And-
the front seat.
and-
Say this nigga's disrespectful.
Right.
It's a disrespectful old nigga.
And then begging Diddy for money when you
Yeah.
know Diddy don't pay nobody.
Nah.
So like I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, no, Diddy ain't gonna pay no niggas. You heard what he told Chopper? Y'all remember he told Chopper City? What was his song? Oh, y'all know Chopper City. Chopper City originally wrote Shake a Tail Feather. The part where Diddy's rapping on, that was Chopper's verse. He laid his verse down. Chopper says he go home. He come back. Diddy didn't rap the verse. And he said, hey, baby, what you doing? And Diddy said, nah, nigga, I'd have turned you in. Well, why you say that, boss? Because you didn't tell me, nigga, you was underage. So I don't need to pay you nothing. Okay, that cool, daddy. And he took the nigga's verse and the money and Shake Your Tail Feather. That was a big song for the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack.
And I know he ain't make no money. But also going back to 39, that's exactly the point. Keefy D is dumb. Why orchestrate a hit without the funds? That's why Reggie. That's why Reggie Wright is mischievous. That's why it's funny to me for him to say Keefy D orchestrated it. He's being petty.
Yes. He said I orchestrated it. Well, you know what's crazy too? You know, I'm indifferent, you know, with what's going on with Keefy D on an emotional level because I just feel like it's just an old street nigga shit. You know, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know where y'all grew up, but sometimes when old street niggas, they get their dues, they just dues, their karma, and not trying to be funny, they be fathers, they be grandfathers, but somebody found out that they moved to Alabama. And they like, yo, you left Chicago and moved to Alabama. I've been looking for you. And they were like, yo, man, why they kill old man Winston? He ain't bothered nobody. Y'all didn't know what that nigga was doing in Chicago when he was 35. Okay? So with Keefy D, I think, you know, look, he was out there in the streets, street nigga syndrome, you know. He got a chance to live, and he actually had celebrity. He got a chance to be a celebrity in social media at the age of social media now.
Okay, Prince, by 10:30, we're going to have phone calls, or a little bit before then, because your 11 o'clock premiere of your video. So we got to be off the live by 11. But
Get off of the rover.
so let's go into the next conversation. Joe Budden podcast, Ice-ish, all of them, they were talking about Dirt Theory pertaining to the subpoenas by Rock Nation,
Yeah.
and also pertaining to the law firm that's connected to Rock Nation, that are connected to the lawsuits against Drake and Stake and all of that. And then also allegations of Rock Nation having issues with Larry Jackson. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the conversation is big. Is so big right now that, you know, people in the end. These, first of all, let's be clear. Number one, all them niggas on the couch know what the fuck is going on. Okay, they all do know what's going on. Say, you and I, we know that, right? Now, do they know every detail? No, but do they hear like dirty shit that goes on in the industry? You know, figureheads locking horns with each other? Absolutely. You know, I do think a lot of times where there's a blind spot for fans, just like what we reported in 2018, that there was issues with Jay-Z and Drake. You know, their job is going to be like they're stopping the conversation. At least some of the fans try to fight to stop those conversations. But the reality is that this has been going on for some time. And I think because they've investigated or they listened to it and tied to what they actually know themselves, it seems plausible. It seems plausible. Yeah. It's not too far all over the moon. And, you know, we've seen this before, even in sports in the 90s. You know, companies that were rivaling each other, but they had a celebrity ambassador, because that's all celebrities are. They're ambassadors for brands. All right. That's why they say that I'm an ambassador for this particular brand. You know, Tupac was an ambassador for Versace. You get what I'm saying? You know, Dr. Dre was an ambassador for Adidas, just like Kanye West was. So when you have like corporations that have new endeavors and they're betting on these ambassadors like a Drake or Jay-Z, who have the biggest ambassador brands outside of Kanye West, they have the biggest ambassador brands overtly in hip hop. I'm not saying anybody else can't be tapped like Kendrick and them, but Kendrick's mostly reclusive and he kind of has an exclusive type brand versus a more publicized, robust brand like Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Drake. So I think in those dynamics, you know, upon them even checking it out, it makes logical sense why people would kind of play off the ball to, you know, tear down an ambassador of a rivaling company.
Yeah, I think that with Joe Budden, they know exactly what's going on, but they trying to play things lightly. You know, the advantage of new media, even though you have less resources by establishment, is that you can go into deep dives into theories and different situations and take a look to see what's going on there. And I do think with Joe Budden and the cast members, you know, they're trying to play this lightly because they can easily get locked out. You know, Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club seemingly have already locked down with Rock Nation.
They are.
And
it's pretty clear.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
It's pretty clear. There's no conspiracies.
They locked down completely. And, you know, Joe Budden's, you know, cast members, they're trying to, like, I would say they're trying to tread lightly because they want to keep
their freedom,
but while also keeping relationships intact with those who are pro Rock Nation in the establishment, those who are pro OVO in the establishment, and so on and so forth. So, you know, it's tricky for them because they know what's going on, but they kind of have to
play them games.
Yes, and tread lightly.
Dance on
because you don't know when a corporate sabotage may happen. I mean, we saw what happened when Joe Budden and Charlamagne went back and forth. Joe Budden threatened to bring Jessica Reed on his platform because he got very upset with Charlamagne at the time, because Charlamagne was saying a lot of toxic things about Joe Budden while he was trying to negotiate his deal with Spotify at the time.
Yes.
And remember, Spotify used Joe Budden as the guinea pig experiment for podcasting before they landed that big deal with Joe Rogan. And they figured out how to use their interface through their partnership with, you know, Joe Budden before moving on and to, again, Joe Rogan and other, you know, Call Me Daddy and all that. So they are definitely trying to tread lightly because they are establishment too, all of them. But Joe Budden has always had this weird thing where he was always forced to be somewhat, at least 1 foot out of the establishment while 1 foot is in the establishment, because they usually be kicking him out off and on. You saw what happened. Like, again, when Charlamagne got irritated, he, allegedly, seemingly tried to harm his negotiation power with Spotify. And, he had his run-in with L.A. Reid, although they made up. So it is a really interesting thing. That's why I think for Joe Budden, for him, he's going to keep weaving these things in and out. Like, he's going to talk about Dirt and other people's, theories when it comes to Rock Nation. But to be fair to his platform, he did talk about theories that were about OVO too. And that's the thing where you might see some industry media platforms may try to lie and make it seem like, Joe Budden is one-sided. But he did talk about all of the conspiracies, all of the theories about Drake, whether it was underage girls or people talking about steak and all that. He brought all of those things up on his show too. So it's only fair that the conspiracies or theories about Rock Nation or Jay-Z or whoever, that he's going to bring those things up too, because he brought it up about Drake. So there's going to some people who may like get mad at him and be like, why are you talking about Dirt's video? What's the Dirt video on
he don't
Rock Nation subpoenas and all that? But no, that's the point. He don't care because he brought up all the dirty allegations on Drake. So he's going to talk about the Rock Nation stuff too.
Joe Budden would care about people that actually can fuck up his journey. People that are bitching online, at the most they may get on his nerve if it's too much of it. But he's touched on all of it. And I know people get irritated about shit. But again, listeners cannot complain that somebody's not playing more into the side that they're favoriting, but also at the same time complaining about establishment platforms. So, let's give you an example. Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club. There's never going to be a day you guys wake up on the Breakfast Club, all right, that you're going to see them just going off on Jay-Z. It's not happening, right? But people have complained that they felt they're too, quote unquote, one-sided versus, okay, in that complaint, you have objectivity where somebody like Joe Budden, he may play around with different theories, but because he has an air of celebrity to him, sometimes it's not registering with the public like, well, why you switching up? When in reality, he's kind of always fucked around with different theories, even going back since I'll name this podcast later. And
he does take a little bit more risk.
Yeah, just a little bit more, yes.
Just a slightly more risk than a lot of the other industry platforms,
Yeah, so, I just think, where, to your point, where I think the listeners come in at where they sometimes can get a bit aggy, and then on the other side of the game, how we move, like, there's no ties to nothing. So when something pops up, we're going to talk about it. And so where you can get accused of in that dynamic is you can get accused of being a hater. You get what I'm saying? Or you attacking people's goats. And okay, I'm not Ronald McDonald, so I don't care, right? But so with that being the case, though, yes, absolutely. Them exploring the Dirt theory. He's explored the young teenage theory. He's explored Doechii having bots or not theory. We've seen him explore that. He got his back kicked in about that. And so here he is with What's the Dirt, and that's what it is. I know people, they kind of trying to step around shit, but it's kind of hard to do that if Joe Budden is talking about it, and people have cited Joe Budden's platform a lot.
I'll also add the Larry Jackson Gamma part and the Rock Nation law firm part.
That's the most intriguing part.
The most intriguing part. And it is a well done, well edited video. But he also brought something new to it. Because remember, everybody was just biting up everything that we were saying about Jay-Z a lot of times and Drake, because we were one of the first ones who said something about it. Actually, the first ones, because everybody was acting like over the years there wasn't anything going on. We like, nah, people are sabotaging people's deals. I mean, like, what do you think the story of Adidon was about? It was the sabotage, allegedly, Drake's Adidas deal. Like
then Kanye came out and screamed about it, that he felt Drake was trying to do everything he was doing.
Right. So we first reported on that, and we first reported on the diss record that never came out by Drake and all that, right? Fast forward, the element that he brought that was new was the law firm.
Right.
And that Rock Nation seems to possibly have an issue with Gamma and Larry Jackson. And this is why Maul and Rory brought it up. And, you know, they're the same situation, ironically, since they all used to work with each other, as Joe Budden.
Yeah, they are.
They don't take, you know, grand risk like people in independent media or new media. But what Rory and Maul being industry, what they do is they'll take little slight risk and they'll talk about, you know, certain things about Drake like Rory would, not Maul. And then, because, you know, good cop, bad cop. I would say Rory is to play the gullible good cop. He'll bring up, you know, theories and stuff that may not be favorable for Drake or Jay-Z or whoever. And then Maul, he plays the side of I'm pro OVO and I'm pro Rock Nation at the same time. Then with Joe Budden, he just trying to keep his crew going and afloat. So, you know, he'll talk about the allegations and theories on Drake and OVO, and then he'll also talk about the theories on Jay-Z, and then also on Rock Nation. But yeah,
the real difference between the two is that you're going to get some of the bigger names. They're going to respond directly to Joe Budden when he says something. You know, Rory and Maul.
I agree.
You're going to get, you know, you're going to get dynamics like how Rick Ross.
They're going to get trolled on X.
Yeah, they're going to get trolled, but you know, like Drake when he wrote his paragraph about Joe Budden and the Nietzsche jeans and being stuck in echo fashion, you're going to get that type of stuff. But excuse me, y'all. But the Larry Jackson Gamma situation is a conversation that Sid and I started to see float up a little bit in 2024. We saw that Larry Jackson, and we actually covered parts of it on our Patreon, but we didn't go as extensive as What's the Dirt did with his video. But we did bring up the idea that there was the front end where there were people being introduced to Larry Jackson by way of the Joe Budden podcast.
Go to the Patreon.
Yeah, and then on the Patreon, we went through the list of what was going on with Drake and Sexy Red and Gamma and all these other things. And then there were like whispers in the industry at the time about the placement of this entity called Gamma, you know. So, you know, as we told you guys before, people do get stuck on the celebrity faces and, you know, what song got played when they lost their virginity, or this song make them think of their dead mama.
To be fair, I get
right?
that because they here for they be there for the music.
Yeah,
a lot of people, yeah,
and that's cool. But you know, don't be trying to debate me when we're talking about the stuff that's going on in the backdrop. You know, that's to me where that kind of stalls the conversation. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a don't tase me, bro situation.
One thing I do like about being free is that Prince and I have been able to be in the forefront of a lot of these industry conversations and just say it, not have to hide anything. You know, I personally think the only thing that is boring sometimes about industry podcasters is that they wait so long to reveal the truth. Although
some of them trying not to get their bricks clipped.
Although understandably so, because some of these people are friends with these people. So I mean, like, I'm not
friends with them.
I'm not gonna
and they probably understand the darker side of them too.
I'm not gonna be biased like hell. If I was, first of all, though, I will make something clear, disclaimer. I do not have friends who be trafficking and stuff though. I don't know nobody like that, so I don't have no friends like that. But like, if somebody like, I don't know, did something scamming, some type of scamming thing financially,
Trump University.
Yeah, and I'd be like, I think it's wrong, but I'm not gonna be on there.
No, Sid, thought crimes. Are y'all gonna talk about it?
And I would have to admit, I would have to admit to the people, I'm biased. I know this person, right? So with them, because they know these people, that's the mindset they come with. Like they have to try to wait as long as possible, you know, and that's what a lot of them do.
Yeah, so, you know, the conversation is being had now. I think people are, because there's an air of mystique to Larry Jackson and Gamma, because he's not necessarily a publicized profile. You can find him in industry journals. You can find him online in write-ups. He has interviews with certain sectional podcasts.
I hope he keeps that up.
I think the most notable one that he had the conversation with was with, of course, Joe Budden. So people are going to investigate. They are investigating, like, well, who is Larry Jackson? What is Gamma? Because some people, I did see some people online. They was like, bro, I just thought it was a music, like a record
No,
label
it's
thing.
supposed to be like a
And so people find, multidisciplinary situation.
It's multimedia. It's supposed to be a black multimedia because if you go on Gamma, the website, they focus on like it's supposed to be like this black cultural aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I do think he should keep his mystique, you know, with the shades, and sometimes he just talks about the business. I think he has actually
You got the Kobe fro.
He do have the Kobe fro.
Got the Kobe fro.
He got that Virgo Kobe fro. I think he should keep that throwback energy. He has like a throwback energy of like, you know, executives back in the day type of thing.
You're gonna need some anonymity to protect yourself.
Not too throwback where he don't be on podcasts and stuff like that, but he still has like a traditional vibe to him.
Just kind of like, I'm in the room.
Right, and how he presents himself.
Yeah, you know, I'm in the room. You want some coffee? No, I'm good. All right. So, also, ladies and gentlemen, at 11, we have a video debuting or premiering after the stream. The link is in the chat. I got a pin to the chat. Sincere Ignorance dropped the link into the chat as well. Y'all get over there. I won't go into any further details. You guys see the figures on the stage right there. The dark story behind the video 100, and you guys get a chance to check it out from there.
We're going to only be able to get one person in, so hurry up and call.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to open up the phone lines real quick.
We're only going to be able to get one person in because we have to bounce so we can all watch Prince Solomon's video. So the number is 903-600-0530. You could call in.
To the head of stage.
Only one person is going to be able to squeeze in. So I'm sorry for everybody else. Y'all will be able to call in tomorrow, guys.
Girl, get off my lip. Get off my lap. I got to call in.
And yeah, anybody who didn't get a chance, tomorrow when we talk about Eminem's.
Damn, Thought Crimes, pay your phone bill.
Tomorrow we're going to talk about Eminem's kill shot and implementing Diddy as allegedly, you know, harming or putting a hit out on Pac. And then also, yes, he did allegedly have some music on that also for Fuel featuring Jid.
Yeah, I brought that up earlier. I talked about because when we was listening to it, I was like, man, you know, Shady Slim, he keeps spinning the block on this shit. I said, that's what you and I, we was like, also, because sitting there, if you guys been paying attention, we told you guys about some stuff that was going on in, yeah, it's up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, we talked to you guys about that, and, you know, there was some rumblings going on about Diddy, and, you know, that they was going to zigzag to Jay-Z, you know, and we here today. This is where we are today, ladies and gentlemen.
3 things we said a long time ago. They was going to take down Diddy.
Yeah.
They were going to come after Jay-Z, and people were going to set up Drake.
Yes.
We also have another theory on some other stuff, too, about stuff that theories we had that we put out already pertaining to Kendrick as well, or, you know, people with whacked out murals and connected to all that. But come on, guys.
Shouts out to Lava. He called me Lou Rawls. He said Lou Rawls said Kobe Fro. Y'all funny, man. I like that.
903-600-0530. Call in before we bounce. Please don't try to call in when we're trying to end the show, though, because, again, we're going to be paying attention to Prince 11 a.m. drop.
All right, y'all can go ahead and hit the wait list on that one. But yeah, anyway, so the whole point is while, you know, people are doing what they're doing. But listen, to let you guys know, we're going to go further and do some, you know, some exploring and digging. But, you know, when people was kind of like early on in 2018, 2019, there was a little bit of mockery. I didn't care. But I was interested to hear people, they was like, you know, hashtag industry wars. And it was like, yeah, there is industry wars. You know, but now because there's been so much damage done, because never forget, politics always play a role in this. The Trump administration had brought a wrecking ball to the industry everywhere. Y'all got to understand. All right. So when that happened, you're seeing people like they're gravitating online quicker and making sure they set things up for themselves because, you know, they don't know how far their brand is going to make it past midterms. Are they going to make it to 2028? You know, financially, can they survive? So you're seeing a more aggressive approach online, and you're seeing the industry going through its own form of transformation. You know, there is a terraforming of the industry. There's a really dope NPR article with Lucien or Sir Lucien Grange.
That's right, that's Sir Lucien.
Sir Lucien Grange.
Knighted,
but better than Idris Elba. But anyway, so there was an article that Sin and I read, and there's a 60-minute podcast associated with it. And Lucian Grange said, as a steward, his job is to assist in UMG transformation to dealing with the tech world. We've seen that with retired execs such as Ivy. There's other executives moving around as well. So there is a real focus.
Consolidation
of what's going on. And that's why it's interesting. This Larry Jackson angle is popping up on the radar. And so people are investigating, who is Larry Jackson?
Larry, you better watch out. They're trying to get you out. They're trying to take you out. Watch out.
What did Akon say? Convict.
All right, we're going to play our trailer to Live Nation as well with Tommy Dorfman. We'll talk to y'all later, everyone, because we're going to be getting ready to watch Prince Solomon's video. We love y'all. Peace.
Thought crimes.
A landmark federal antitrust trial against Ticketmaster parent company Live Nation got underway this week with the first witness testifying today. The Justice Department, multiple state attorneys general, and Washington, D.C. in 2024 initially filed the suit against Ticketmaster and Live Nation. It alleges they've illegally dominated the live concert industry by monopolizing tickets, bookings, venues, and promotions.
This morning, the way fans buy tickets for concerts could be changing forever as a jury in New York finds Live Nation acted as an illegal monopoly. Dozens of states sued Live Nation and its subsidiary Ticketmaster, claiming they illegally dominated major concert venues and kept ticket prices too high.
Breaking news, a verdict has been reached in the antitrust trial against entertainment giant Live Nation. A jury found Live Nation unfairly created a monopoly over the ticket market.
Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. So any global tours, Ticketmaster's, and like if you're buying tickets from Ticketmaster, you're paying Live Nation. And Rock Nation, Live Nation, same thing. Live Nation owns all these subsidiaries, so it's Live Nation Entertainment. So I was hoping an artist might speak out. I wasn't thinking they would, but I figured I would take a shot at it, you know? But I respect them for not speaking out. I get why they don't, you know? It ruins their career, and, they want to perform for their fans, but their fans are getting ripped off. And on the side, I will tell you, though, some of the artists do reach out to me. And some of them, I won't name them because I never do that. And as I say, anybody reaches out to me with anything, it's confidential, and that's how it works.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Thought Crimes. This is your girl, Sincere, and I'm here with...
Yo, this is your man, Prince Solomon, in the building, folks. And right now, we have a special guest. We're going to be talking to Tommy Dorfman. He's been going back and forth battling Live Nation. And he's also going to be breaking down how he's been able to have to deal with this situation. What does this mean for artists and all the ins and outs? And basically, it's a mafia. Matter of fact, it's larger than the mafia. It's 2 sets of books and everything of that nature.
It's a cartel.
It's a cartel.
And you're about to hear Tommy break down his life, his background, and we get into all the background information on what's taking place. And also, please make sure you show Tommy support because he is going up against a giant.
Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. And I sing because I'm free. That rhymes. Is on the sparrow.
Oh my God, what's this? Elvie?
And I sing happy. And I sing happy. And I sing happy. And I sing that rhymes.
We are all the same. We are all the same. More group
Coming through your airwaves. All right, now I'm here to kick the ballistics. Check out Thought Crimes. Are you following me? Coming through your airwaves. Coming through your airways. You ain't gonna get me with that one.